Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today, doing another 2021 year-end top 10, as I'm going to look at my number 9 junior welterweight at 140 pounds, the former IBF champion Robert Easter Jr. from the United States. He's a former lightweight champion at 135. You know, Easter was coming into the year. I don't believe he fought in 2020 during COVID. He didn't fight when everything was shut down, but he was coming off of a 2019 debut at 140 and hard-fought victory over Adrian Granados, who's always a solid contender, especially at 140. And you know, that got him into the top 10 at number 6, you know, because the division was wide open. But the inactivity in 2020 and only fighting one time drops him to number 9 here. But the one fight, he took on Ryan Martin, who had competed against Josh Taylor years ago in the World Boxing Super Series. And he, you know, he dominated the action, got a clean one-sided 12-round decision in that fight, and pushes forward into 2022. But, you know, his stats now are, he's 30 years old, so he's still, you know, in his prime, trying to make a name for himself. He's won it, you know, overall, he's 23-1-1 with 14 knockouts. And his highest ranking is number 8 by the IBF. In terms of big fights, it's going to be tough for Robert Easter to land a big fight because there's not a lot of PBC guys fighting around at 140 pounds, unless you look at Rances Barthelemy, guys like that, which would be a rematch, you know, of a very ugly fight that occurred back in, I think it was 2018 between those two guys. And, you know, so outside of that, or no, it was 2019. But outside of that, I really don't know what Robert Easter is going to do. So he needs to try to work himself into some kind of an eliminator. He really does. Being the IBF's number 8 contender, being the fact that he held an IBF title at lightweight before, you know, it's a good idea for him to try to work back into the mix to fight, you know, you know, I don't know if he can land a big name opponent. PBC, again, does not have a lot of guys, you know, very many big names. I would also think a possible showdown with Regis Prograis might be on the table if Robert Easter wanted it, you know, and why not take that kind of risk to throw your name seriously in the mix at 135? But I mean, with Josh Taylor potentially at some point this year, could vacate all the belts and move to 147 for a big fight there. I think Robert Easter getting himself in position for a title shot makes a lot of sense. And, you know, I could see Robert Easter, you know, being a threat to be a 2-division world champion if he were to do that. So, got to see what his options are and what he can do. But I like Robert Easter. I just hope he bounces back, because by the time he gets his next fight locked and loaded, he's going to be out of the ring for over another year. And, you know, he's been he's been inactive. He really has the last couple years. I know COVID put a dent in things in 2020, but even prior to that, he was not fighting a lot. So I really hope he shakes off that rust and really throws himself at a possible title shot, and, you know, and getting into some kind of an eliminator maybe in 2022. But we'll see. But that's it. That's my 2021 year-end top 10s. My number 9. Junior welterweight in the world right now at 140 pounds, former lightweight champion, Robert Easter Jr. I hope you guys enjoyed this. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.